Everybody doing today? Thank you for joining me. This is your boy Dave, saxologist. I am doing a series of interviews, I hope, with great jazz artists. I started off with John Clemmer. I started out with a legend, so I'm off to a good start. But guess this out. I got an up and coming legend. Brother's as cold as he wants to be. Brother out of Honolulu, Hawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Use the blues himself, Mr. Jason Gay. Jason, how you doing, brother?
Hello, they doing great, man. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on here, man.
I thank you for coming, man. And first of all, I want to say uh, I know you're a very busy man, man. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk to you, man, because a couple years ago I got turned on to you, man, by watching you do what you do with the guitar licks, man. I was like, that's some incredible stuff, man. So I want to get into all that, but first I want to start at the beginning, if you don't mind, though.
Oh,
So
of course, yeah, yeah.
where are
Ask
you
any.
from originally?
I'm originally from the Washington D.C. area. Uh, Technically a small town called Upper Marlboro, but Prince George's County, Maryland. They call it. It's a little sector where Washington D.C., Maryland, and Virginia meet. So they call it the DMV.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All
so I
right.
spent most of my time there. I stayed there until I was about 32.
Is that right?
Yeah, most of my formative years.
So when did you start playing any instrument? What was your first instrument?
Oh, that's a good one. And I'm gonna try not to get too long-winded with these answers because I
That's
could
all
tend to
right,
be
brother.
pretty easy. But I wanted to play sax when I was in fourth grade, and my teacher actually stuck me on trumpet because he said he needed more trumpet players. So imagine my surprise when I went to band class and I saw four trumpets on the side and one sax. But it's after I already got my trumpet and rented it from Music and Arts Center and everything. And I tell you, I was the worst trumpet player. I was. They had normally they have three chairs for trumpet. They had to make a fourth chair for me. Like I could barely even tune up on an instrument. Like I was just a barely functional trumpet player. But it's one of those things where it kind of leads into the thing where like I believe everybody has a certain instrument that's perfect for them. And I think it's a part of the journey is like trying to figure out what that instrument is. Because as
Right.
soon as I got the saxophone when I turned 14, like probably 6 years later, it was like a fish in water.
Oh yeah? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I switched it. Is that right?
yeah. I started off on soprano sax because I saw that movie Mo Better Blues, the Spike Lee, and it showed jazz musicians like living in high-rise apartments in Manhattan, wearing like $1,000 suits, dating beautiful women.
Right.
Some this is life for me. All I do is get a saxophone and I get the high-rise apartment and the beautiful. Yeah, but yeah,
Oh.
no one told me about all the dues you had to pay.
How old were you when you first started?
Yeah, first starting and then just in general, just a career. Yeah, I was a starving artist until I was about 33 years old. It's definitely a good bit of struggle
Yeah.
being able to be a musician.
So your formative years as coming up, did you played in junior high and high school and everything?
Yeah, yeah. They canceled the jazz band when I started playing sax. So fortunately, my teacher was a drummer. My music band director was a drummer, and he also went to Berkeley, so he was able to kind of give me some private classes, and I took a couple of private lessons here and there just to kind of like know where the keys are on the saxophone and stuff like that.
Okay.
But then besides that, I think the best piece of advice I heard early on, someone told me to learn all 12 major scales. Learn all 12 scales and then just play along with the radio.
And you were able to
Just,
do that? You picked that up pretty quick?
it took me a while. Let's see, I wonder how, maybe about 2 months for me to learn all 12 scales back when I was 14. And then, I could turn on the radio and I could fiddle around and be like, wait a minute, I think, okay, we're in the key of E. Because most R&B songs on the radio just stay in one key. It's not like you're playing Giant Steps or Donna Lee or something.
Right, right, right.
I was able to kind of get through. And then I started on soprano saxophone. So my first two CDs, when CDs first came out, I went to Tower Records and I bought John Coltrane Live because he had a soprano on the cover, and Kenny G Live because he
Okay.
had soprano on the cover. And they're both playing modal music at the time, and I knew my 12 keys, my 12 major scales. Um, if you know major scales, you know minor because it's just a different mode pretty much. So
Right.
I was able to kind of like fiddle around and figure out stuff. That's kind of like how I started playing jazz. Really, is playing along with recordings
What
and
made
stuff
you
like.
start on soprano sax, though, man? That's one of the hardest ones to play, man. So, what was the story behind that?
Yeah, man. Hey, I tell you, Mo Better Blues. Um, the Branford Marcellus was the saxophonist, the real saxophonist,
Right.
and Wesley Snipes was the actor. And I think it's interesting that because we're talking about actors, their job is to look cool. Like they're only because they're not playing nothing, so their only job is to look cool.
Right.
So Wesley Snipes had all these cool ways to hold a soprano. He like had it in his arms. He had it like by the side, and he's like had his head down and looking
Right.
all.
Right.
So me, like a highly impressionable kid at age 14, I'm thinking like, let me get that one. That
Okay.
was the cool one right there, you know. Then also it wasn't real typical. Like it was a saxophone, but it wasn't like the one that everybody
I
has,
know.
you know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly, man. And the hardest one, besides the sopranino, probably, yeah. You ever played one of those? Sopranino?
I've seen one, I haven't played one though.
Yeah,
No.
that thing is half the size of soprano, man. They say tuning is terrible on them too, from what I've
Oh,
heard. Yeah.
yeah. That is that an E flat? Or is it like
You know what? I'm not sure, but I think it probably is, though, because it's like every other one, right? So sopranino, then soprano. Yeah, I think it probably is E flat. Yeah.
yeah, seems like it might be.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten there yet.
So, when you were growing up, in your early years and your teen years, did you play in any bands, anything, any gigs after school?
Yeah, well, let's see. So I started when I was about 14. And then when I was, as I'm my formative years, I'm playing along with Dexter Gordon, um, Herbie Hancock albums. I was a big fan of the Blue Note, the Best of Blue Note series. So they have a Best of Dexter Gordon, Best of Sonny Rollins, and I figured I could just get one of those for each person and kind of hear the best of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the way I went. I was playing along with recordings. A lot of them played like a lot of blues songs, which was pretty cool. And then if it was I didn't even realize that they were playing chord changes. I thought they were just adding a couple of notes here and there.
Uh-huh.
You know, I didn't really learn about changes till way later. But yeah, I was able to get through, like Night in Tunisia for the most part. Songs like All Blues, Kind of Blue was real big. So What. Um, a lot of songs that are kind of more like on a modal side. Not a whole lot of chord changes like Cantaloupe Island, Watermelon Man, and stuff like that. So I ended up ironically, in DC, I joined as a young African American youth group. So it's probably about 30, 35 kids between the ages of 8 and 18. And it was like a drama group, but also a musical group. And they had a jazz scene. And they allowed me to join and be in the jazz scene. So I went on stage and had like a big beard and like a tam and stuff and had like a suit. And we were playing like big theaters and stuff because it's more of a drama group. It wasn't like you have to be a jazz virtuoso to be able to be
Right.
on stage as long as you can play. So my first experiences being on stage or even playing music publicly, besides church, ended up being the big stage. With like the lights and everything on you and everything. And that was when I was age 16, 17, 18. And it wasn't until I hit the age of 18 where I graduated from the big stage, the big theater, to the grungy sports bar.
Okay.
And that's where I started really learning and cutting my teeth, as they say. Is in the sports bars when, they're like, hey, can you turn the music down? I'm trying to watch the game and
Yeah, yeah,
all that stuff. So I'm kind of like, that's why I was talking about the paying dues part. So it kind of came a little backwards, but I think it's good for everybody to kind of experience those different environments, because music should always be about the people.
yes,
Trying to, not trying to play over their head. I guess it depends on what you're trying to do.
yeah. So, did you when you started, did you have any ambition to that you wanted to be pro? Was that your end result? Did you say I want to be a professional musician, or were you just being like I just like it a lot?
That's a good question, man. I did art at the same time. I know there are some musicians who kind of correlate art with music and stuff like that. Um, Let me adjust this a little better. Yeah, I know they correlate art with music from time to time. So I kind of, from what I remember, I think it came down to the school I got accepted to because I was doing art and I was doing music around the same time. And I figured if I got accepted to a music school, I'd do music. If I got accepted to an art school, I'd do art. And
Okay.
I think I applied to that school in, is it Oberlin in Pennsylvania? I think it's Oberlin, maybe. I applied there, applied to Howard University, and I applied to Berkeley College of Music. I got into Berkeley. They didn't give me no scholarship, but I ended up going to Berkeley for a year, and it got smacked around pretty well up there. Yeah,
I
that was a
can
real good
imagine.
school.
That's a tough school, though, isn't it? Though I mean, it's a lot of talent up there too, isn't it?
Tremendous talent.
Yeah.
Everybody's a genius.
Right. Do you have perfect pitch or relative pitch?
I think studying blues really helped up my relative pitch
Okay.
because it's kind of based on the chord tones for the most part.
All right.
Um, Doing jazz, and I played jazz for, I guess for those who don't know, I studied jazz pretty seriously for the first 15, 20 years of my career. Like really trying to get into the jazz thing, like straight ahead jazz, like Coltrane, Sonny Rollins, Chris Potter, Joshua Redman, Mark Turner, all the cats. Um, and I love the music a lot.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things I like to try to represent is that it's more than okay that it's kind of, I don't want to say necessary because everybody do what they want to do. I think it's really important for a person to consider just really being themselves and just doing the stuff you really want to do, the stuff that really captures like Patrick Bartley. Have you heard of
Yeah.
Patrick? Super amazing
He's
sax player.
amazing. Yes, he is.
Whew. He's coming out of like tons of amazing straight ahead players like Cannonball Adderley and like Johnny Hodges, definitely Kenny Garrett I hear a lot of.
Right.
But also he's influenced by anime, like Japanese animation.
Yeah, I heard him talk about that. Yeah.
So that's the big thing, and he's not shying away from that. He's finding ways to include that too. Um, and I know we can get into the blues thing a little later as far as me getting into the blues, but yeah, I think I thought when I first saw Jimi Hendrix on video when I was 16, my first thought was like, wow, I wonder if someone could do that on the saxophone. That'd be pretty cool if you could have a sax player do that. But then I go to my music class and he's like, no, 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 no. Listen to John Coltrane, listen to Sonny Rollins. These are the
Right.
guys you got to listen to.
You can't
You know,
deviate. Okay.
exactly, exactly. Yeah.
So, how did you develop your tone, man? Because you have a wonderful tone, brother. And it's gritty. I mean the way you can do Sidney Bechet and all that stuff, man. How did you develop your palette, if you will?
Wow, I appreciate that, man. Yes, that's a nice, serious compliment there. That's probably uh, one of the main things I focus on. Probably 30% of my practice is just tone, and I'm always kind of aware of it. And I think because I kind of don't like my tone,
What?
I'm always trying to. Now this is a good one. And I choose a mouthpiece that's almost like a blank palette, like a white piece of paper. Just so that way, it gives you whatever you put in there. So if I growl, I get the growl. If I do vibrato, I get the vibrato. So the reason I say I don't like my tone is because it encourages me to add a lot of different things in order to give more color to it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm
If
getting it
playing
now.
a, if I'm playing like a slow like R&B type of song or something, I'll try to add like a real nice vibrato, like a real
Yeah.
nice quality, and I'll bend some notes. It's certain. I think a lot of my musical direction comes from inspiration and also the things I don't want to do. Like, okay, I don't want to play this flat. I don't want to play this like stiff. I want
Right.
to add motion to it. So what can I do to add motion? Stuff like that. So
So,
as far as the tone, I imitate a lot of different instruments that I'll never be able to sound just like. But the reason I like to do it is because it gets me out of that regular comfort zone, I guess you could say.
and you don't sound like everybody else. That's another thing because there's a lot of great saxophone players out there, but you turn on the radio, a lot of them sound alike though, man. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of originality though. Now,
It,
it's a
it's,
lot of up and coming ones that are great, like the people that you were in your festival with, like Doc Martin, McGarry
oh
Brittany
yeah,
Atterbury. Jeanette Harris, all these people like yourself, you're playing with expression and dynamics, man, not just playing like just playing the record, man. You know what I'm saying? You put, like you said, you growling, vibrato, putting ornaments on it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that kind of goes back to what I mentioned earlier. Is I think it's good for a person to kind of like find their own personal niche
Yes.
because we have like jazz. Like, are you a jazz musician or are you a funk musician or are you or classical musician? And those names can make a person like it's important to learn the tradition, I believe. But at the same time, those titles can make a person really be constricted to what they're allowing themselves to do. Like if a person's a straight ahead jazz musician, they'll be like, okay, well I can't do smooth jazz because that's a taboo. I can't do it. They said I can't. So it's no way I'm going to allow it. Um, or vice versa. Or it could be someone who plays rock, and they're like, oh no, I can't do this other thing because I'm a rock. I do rock. But I mean, I think as people, we're a lot more complex, as individuals, and just to say, I only want to wear only red colors.
Yeah.
Or I only want to dress in the color orange, and that's it. I don't want any other colors. Um, and it's a beautiful, it's a whole lot of possibility out there.
Yeah. So you're not just saying I'm a jazz musician. You're a chameleon pretty much. You can play whatever. You're up for it.
Probably the safest thing to say is I'm a saxophone player,
There you go. That's it. Yeah. That's right. Hey, you know,
a student of the saxophone,
there
still
you
studying.
go, man. So let me ask you this: who were your early influences on saxophone?
Well, Branford Marcellus for sure. I got the Mo Better Blues soundtrack, and I realized that it was Branford and his band plus Terrence Blinkert on the soundtrack. So Branford really got me in there. Then I kind of like Kenny G at the same time
Yeah,
because he plays soprano,
yeah,
and I liked his vibrato, and my mom liked him. They played him on the radio in D.C. at the time, back in the '80s, into early '90s. They liked John Coltrane a whole lot because I could just feel like the spiritual power. I also read some of his books at that time. 16-year-old, I probably read 3 or 4 biographies on John Coltrane. So I really
okay,
like the way he lived his life and the whole the spiritual power within music. I'm trying to reflect that in the gospel tradition. I'm trying to mix that with jazz and everything. So that's kind of like where I started, and then I got into Joshua Redman pretty heavy. And
he's
Joshua
nice
Redman,
too. Yeah, yeah,
back with cassette tapes. I remember I
right,
bought that first cassette like twice. And with cassette tapes, you can't like really flip around like you can with CDs, or
right.
you gotta listen to the whole thing. You gotta flip it open and listen to the whole thing again.
So how old were you when you did your first transposition?
Well, I played along with recordings for a long time, but as far as actually transcribing, did a little bit at Berkeley. I wouldn't even count that really. I probably did like 2 solos. Um, I didn't really start really getting into what music was about until I went back to school at age 25. I did 1 year at Berkeley, then I left, and then I ended up moving to West Virginia. And I kind of put music on the back burner for a while and kind of did like construction and carpentry stuff and played a couple of gigs. And like I said, I knew my 12 major scales and I knew like other little things to do.
Right.
I learned a lot of tricks and different effects and stuff. So I was able to kind of get through, but I didn't really learn. I still haven't really learned the language. That's more of an emotional player, which actually ties right into the blues part. But I'm trying to be a jazz musician at this time because that's where I was told I was supposed to be. So I ended up going back to school age 25, and I went to Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, and they have a real nice music program. Ellis Marcellus was in charge of it for a good
Okay.
while. He was in charge of it for a while, and then there's an Ellingtonian scholar named Doug Richards who was in charge of it. Then a guy named Antonio Garcia who played with Phil Collins and stuff like that. But my teacher was he was the main guy in Virginia. He was the number one sax player, the reason he's the number one is because he worked his butt off.
Right.
Like he would play every bebop melody in all 12 keys. Like he transcribed like crazy, practiced 4 hours every day. Um, you would see him in the grocery store with his saxophone bra on. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah,
didn't take
he was ready.
he had some eggs and stuff wearing his saxophone strap. Like, so he just lived with the horn, and he really got me together. Like, um, I don't know if you want to say get together, but he showed me a whole lot of things to do with chord changes and how to move from how to get through songs and learn the melody and solo forms and transcribing, and he is painfully honest.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my first lesson, I think this is a good thing to share. My first lesson, he had me pull out the horn. He asked me to play a bebop song. So I played, I think it's Scrabble from the Apple, like so he was like, okay, that sounds okay. All right, we'll play it in another key. So I'm like, he's like, okay, you can stop. He's like, okay, so I think now we can. He is so serious when he said this. He's like, I think now, okay, I think we know one or two things. Either you don't know the song, or you don't know your horn. Okay, well, my name is Skip Gills, and welcome to Saxophone 101. I mean, we all have different definitions of what we think a musician is.
Yeah,
It's kind of like it's an abstract thing.
right.
Like you do this, that, and then you graduate to being, it depends on who you ask. If you're, but according to him, he wanted to be a singer, and not in a way like a blues person wants to be a singer. He wants to be a singer where he can play everything in all 12 keys, so that way anything he hears, he can just put it out of the horn. That was his approach. So
All right. Yeah.
it's just what I needed at that time, like a guy who didn't really know theory. I remember being inside a small practice room trying to play, the song "Freedom Jazz Dance."
I think I've heard it. Yeah, I think I've heard
It's,
it.
it's all fourths. It's like a it's like this crazy like fourth. But he had me play that in all 12 keys.
And
So some
you just had to figure it out on the fly, pretty much, right? You just okay. Now I go here and I go.
He's like, you have 2 weeks to learn this song in all 12 keys,
Uh,
and I'll be listening because you can hear what people doing in their practice rooms. So I'll be in that room just like just.
yeah.
But I mean, every day gets better. Every day gets better, and then you really improve dramatically. That's not stuff that I really do. Like since I left him, I don't really do that stuff. But that did help to get my ears open
Okay.
in different ways.
So let's talk gear, man. What is your setup, man? What horns do you play? You do you play alto also? You have alto?
I own an alto, but that's mainly because I was trying to give my son sax lessons. He didn't really like them too much.
Oh, he did. Sound like mine.
He got into Michael Jackson. He's singing and dancing now. So
Okay.
he's doing his own thing. But I mainly focus on tenor and soprano sax, and I do have a bari. I recently got a baritone. And last time I saw you at NAMM 2025, I was playing the Jody Jazz DV.
Right.
And I played that mouthpiece for 2 years. It served me great, no complaint. And right there on the floor, I think you were probably there. Um, Danielle, she's one of the upper echelon workers of Jody Jazz. She offered me to try the jumbo jet. Not jumbo jet. Oh man, they're going to instruct me like that.
Super jet.
The super
Super
jet,
jet. Yeah.
super jet. And for me, I like the DV because it had that like soft bite plate. Like I was kind of shying away from metal mouthpieces because they kind of hurt my teeth.
I know what you mean. I'm the same way, man. I'm getting off them. I kind of like hard rubber now, man. Mostly, man. Yeah.
It's comfortable. It's
It
important to be
is.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Um, so the bite plate that they have, like when they sell the mouthpiece, they have a certain bite plate on it, and so that hurt my teeth too.
Yeah.
So I love the sound of the mouthpiece, but I didn't like that the way it felt. But I didn't realize that they have another bite plate cushion that's like a little thicker.
Yeah.
So I put that on, and it's like no problems at all.
Yeah.
And the mouthpiece broadcasts like a lot louder. I think it's a little clear, maybe a little more brash, but I feel like it's a good fit for what I do with the blues stuff.
Did you ever try the giant?
I played the Giant for a year.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm playing now, the giant.
Oh, okay. That's
That's
a
a
good
good
mouthpiece,
piece.
man.
That's a good piece from tenor, man. Yeah, that's what I play, man. Yeah.
It's the best of both worlds, right? Between
That's it.
hard rock and metal.
And right. So you aren't you an endorser, Jody Jazz? Did
Yeah, yeah,
yeah? How'd you come about that?
yeah. I asked them probably about 7 years ago, and they turned me down. And then yeah, I had to build up my reputation a little bit.
Hmm.
Then
Okay.
I asked them again. They're like, "We'd love to have you. Like, please, like, welcome." They treat their people very, very well. Um, Really, you get that one-on-one attention, and they have a great deal on mouthpieces. I think they give you like 2 free ones if you're an endorser, and then and you just say what you're playing. I make a whole lot of videos, and usually almost every video. Sometimes I kind of forget to tag all the gear I use, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'll say, hey, I play this mouthpiece, or people ask what mouthpiece you play, then
Right.
they'll hopefully try it out or buy one, and yeah, so it's a pretty nice symbiotic relationship, I think you could say.
Okay. That's beautiful, man. Hey, so let me. You know what? Let's talk about the Aloha Jazz Festival, man. That was a wonderful event, and I saw your footage, man. So talk to me about that. How was your experience, man?
Yeah, it was a very nice experience. It's the first one ever, and believe it or not, it was I'm, I mentioned earlier that I'm from the DMV area.
Right.
The festival came out of the DMV area,
Oh, did it?
so it's like seeing people from my own hometown coming here, to Hawaii, and it's probably about 200 people
Okay.
came down. I mean, just like my aunt and my grandma. I mean, it's that same type of flavor of, people kind of different based on where
Right.
they come so yeah, I mean, it was a great experience. I wasn't really since it was the first time, and I was the unknown artist. Like I was the surprise. Like no one knew who I was at all. I was just a sax player who's just going to come and play.
But a lot of
Uh,
people on Facebook know who you are, though, and YouTube.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. But no one there knew at all. Like they knew
Yeah.
about Brittany Atterbury, and they knew about Doc
Doc
Martin,
Martin. Yeah.
Axl Rose. Like these are the headliners, and I'm just
Right.
like some guy. So and they asked me to play over backing tracks. And normally I'll play like background music over backing tracks. So I'll play like dinner music or something like that.
Right.
I think that's the first time I had to do a show. Like, you know, this is a good one for the straight ahead jazz guys who think smooth jazz is easy. That was a perfect situation for that.
Yeah.
Because, like, as soon as I got there, I saw a tent, like a small tent, probably 10 by 10. And I saw 200 chairs and they were all facing the tent. So I'm like, oh, so this is like a show. So the first song I played like Alicia Keys and tried to play some real tasty stuff, and they're like, okay, all right. So then the second song was like, all right, well, let me see if I can turn up some. So I went out into the crowd, kind of getting closer to the audience, and people's phones start coming up, and I was like, okay, I think we got it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I played most of the whole gig from the crowd.
Did you?
I
Okay.
stayed out in the audience like the whole time for the most part. Um, I did like A House Is Not a Home. Um, I Always Love You. I did Miss Independent by Neo. Just songs that I thought that people would recognize, like
Yeah.
for the everyday listener. Um, and yeah, did some hootin' and bootin', man, and it ended up coming along pretty nice.
The footing
Yeah,
was amazing, man. When I watched the footage, man, I was like, man, you were getting it, bro. You know.
yeah, I had to turn up, man. There's like 20 chairs, probably 200 chairs looking right at me. No bass player, no drummer, nothing. Just me. And yeah, I had to pull a rabbit out of my hat, man.
So how's the music scene in Hawaii, man? You seem to stay pretty busy, huh?
Yeah, a lot of hustling. It didn't come easy for me, I could say that for sure. But well, that's a good one. So I came. Yeah, you were in the military. I was in a Navy band,
Oh,
and I
okay,
played trumpet
okay.
back in '09.
How was
And
that?
I'll say again.
How was that? What was that like being in the Navy band, man?
Oh, that was awesome. That experience really ties into my experience here because they both kind of happened at the same time. Me coming to Hawaii, my first duty station. I'm in the Navy and all this stuff. My third night on the island, someone took me out to a local jam session. Then I ended up joining that band, and then from that band, like the bass player would have a gig somewhere else, and then introduced me to another group. And I pretty much made all my connections that I still have today from that first original band that my roommate took me to.
What?
It's just like, what if he took me someplace else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like I still work with a lot of those same musicians all the time, and that was about 16 years ago.
How long have you lived in Hawaii now?
Let's see, 16 minus 3. So what's that about? Uh,
13?
13. Yeah, 13. Yeah, my
13?
kids do math at school.
So
Um,
you love it over there?
yeah, yeah, I love it here. The
Yeah.
quality of life is amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and the gigs are great for me, but that's like after being here for like 13 years.
Yeah.
It's not something you can, as far as getting in those circles, it is a little clicky. But I mean, at the same time, it's a lot of outside gigs, and you're in Hawaii,
Yeah.
so it's extremely beautiful.
You
A lot
know,
of times, for granted, like you're playing next to the ocean, and most hotels are next to oceans, and a whole lot of weddings. Weddings are all year round. Also, we have some creative gigs coming back out now, like at different museums.
okay.
I have a monthly gig at the Honolulu Museum of Art every second Friday.
I was
Yeah, I'm
hoping
there.
to catch you there, man, when I was there, but I wouldn't. But I don't know. No, you were at the festival then, though, right?
That was a busy
It
weekend too.
was.
Yeah, because I was hoping to catch you. Like I had you on my my
Yeah.
radar at the time. I did the festival, and then the next morning I woke up super early and went to Maui to do a wedding.
Oh wow.
And then there's a super strenuous wedding that I came back, and then I had to watch the kids. So I'm
Yeah.
out there. It's fun. My wife was watching the kids all that time, so I had to
Right.
give her,
Right.
happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right, man. So, where did you meet your wife at?
I met her here.
In Hawaii. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I met her here.
You were stationed at Pearl Harbor,
Yeah, stationed at Pearl Harbor. Yeah, and
and I
I
worked
was.
at Pearl Harbor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I worked there for 2 years, man. 84 to 86.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Were you Army at the
I
time,
was
or?
in Schofield Barracks for 3 years. I mean, for 2 years. I got out in 86 and I stayed in Hawaii to 89. I moved back to
Oh,
California in 89.
oh, that's right. That's right. I don't know why I was thinking Florida, man. I knew it was someplace warm.
Yeah, and I was there. I've been there 3 times since I retired. I mean, not since I retired. I mean, since I left there. You know,
Yeah,
I love it
yeah.
over there too, man. It's a beautiful place, man. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
California is pretty nice too, man.
Oh yeah,
For me coming from DC, I really like the laid back attitude. Because people in DC are like so high strung. No offense to anybody in DC.
right.
According to my own personal tastes, I'm a little bit more relaxed and like the traffic's all going wild. It's a little too fast for me. Similar of Chicago. Yeah, I thought I was stationed in Chicago at Great Lakes for
Okay.
years before I got out and came back here. I thought that was gonna be the last stop. I thought I
Oh
was gonna
yeah.
be a Chicago musician, and the music scene is amazing. Like everybody comes through Chicago. Um, it's a little too amazing. Like if you go to a jam session, you have a sign up sheet, and
Oh,
you got wait 9 songs, then go up for one song, and then that's it. Like
okay.
for the most part. But
So, Jason, are you
your
coming?
life wasn't so good.
I'm sorry. Are you coming back to the NAM show?
Planning on it,
You
yeah.
planning on it? Okay.
Then we're gonna. Oh no, no, we canceled those plans because we're having a family reunion. I think I'll just be coming myself. I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah. We're planning on doing a mashup with the family because Disneyland's right across the street.
And, I just moved. I just moved in about a month and a half ago, and I'm 3 miles, 2.5 miles from there now. So
Wow.
when you come down, man, I'm gonna treat you to Roscoe's, man. We'll go to Roscoe's over there, man. Get a bite, man.
It sounds good to me, but I do gotta tell you, I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, well, okay.
I
Well, we'll scratch that then.
can get some waffles,
Yeah, you
waffles and
get a
greens.
waffle. Yeah, you can get a
Eh,
waffle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ate there last time I went there. The,
Oh,
the
did
food
you?
is delicious, man.
Yeah, it is, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's cool, man. We got a couple of minutes left here, Jason. So let me ask you this, brother. You have anything you working on? Any original music working on now? You want to
Yeah,
share?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can throw it out there pretty fast. I do have a book out. I put a book out about a half a year ago. It's the first ever Sidney Bechet method book. And the reason it's Sidney Bechet is because I started off as a soprano player, and Sidney Bechet is a soprano player.
Right.
So I was playing at Berkeley. I was playing avant-garde jazz, and one of my mentors came over to me and told me like, if you study Sidney Bechet, no one can ever say anything bad about you because you got your history intact. Like everybody knows what Sidney Bechet sounds like, but not everybody studies him. He's like the first. He's a Louis Armstrong of the saxophone.
Okay.
Him and then Coleman Hawkins and people like that. So I studied Sidney Bechet ever since I was 18. And then I was thinking like, well, if I studied all this stuff and had all this stuff written out from my practice logs, why not share them for everybody else? So I put a book out. It's available on a site called Gumroad, Gum as in Mike, road like the road. So www.gumroad.com. You can get that book for I think it's like 29.99 or something like that.
All
The
right.
digital download. And then besides that, yeah, I do like a lot of blues stuff because that's most of my gigs are like pop gigs, like R&B, playing covers.
Right.
You know, I'm a jazz musician, so my creative brain wants to be engaged. So I figured the blues works everywhere.
That's right.
You know, and who plays blues better than B.B. King, Albert King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, uh, Albert Collins, Freddie King. I mean, I can go on and go on, and it's like it's a diatonic language. So if you know your pentatonic scale, that's like it's almost like sacrilege to say that, but it's almost a foundation for learning the blues. And then you learn which notes to bend and different phrases and stuff like that. And it's the foundation of everything.
The way you do that, though, brother, I haven't seen anybody do it the way you do it, man. So you have a niche there, brother. You got something to work with, man, because that's totally amazing, man. And everybody, all us sax players, we see that we like, man, that's insane the way you do that, bro. The way you bend those notes and the growling and everything that you do, and you right there with it. It's kind of like you the George Benson of the saxophone. You're scatting and playing the sax. You know what I mean?
Man, I appreciate that immensely, man, tremendously.
Yeah,
For me, it's just I thought everybody did it. So after I learned about 10 cellos, I went on a search to see who else was doing it, and I didn't see anybody.
right,
The only one I saw was Michael Brecker. Studied some electric guitar solos, so he can I guess it kind of explains some of his ideas, the distortion and stuff like
right.
that. A lot of people learn like one or two BB King solos, but I probably learned like 10 or 12 BB King solos and like 20 Stevie Ray Vaughan solos and 15 Eric Gale solos, and I
All right.
mean I transcribed probably 170 something solos,
That's
all blues
totally
guitar.
amazing, man. Hey, Jason, this has been, we're just about out of time, but brother, this was a very interesting interview, man. I really appreciate you, brother. It was really good, man. I hope I did okay by you, you know.
Oh man, you're amazing, man. I appreciate your support tremendously. It's so great to have met you at NAM, and I appreciate
Likewise.
everything you do, in the social media sphere.
Most definitely, man. And I'm a sax player myself, I'm a rookie, but I practice every day and I'm
Man,
enjoying it, brother. You know what I mean?
man, you're slamming, man, and I tell you that's it's relative, man. Like it's beauties in it. It's like it's all about how we feel about our notes,
That's it. That's it.
Today.
Thank you,
How's it
brother.
doing?
Take care, Jason.
You too. Appreciate you, man.
All right, brother. Everybody,
Have a
Jason Gay from Honolulu, Hawaii. I appreciate you, brother. You take care, man. We'll be in touch, all right?
take care. Will do. And
You
peace
too,
out.
brother.